If you assess Nigerian government nowadays, I think government is generating more revenue. So maybe perhaps that is the yardstick for him to measure that is better. But the question is that if government is generating revenue, how about the citizen? How well are we feeling? How well is the economy when you talk about household? Because that's the major unit to measure economy of the country. However, if you look at a lot of things that have been put in place by this government, there is a sign that there is good intention. But how about the policy and how the policy is affecting the economy as it is now? We've had a lot of policy implementation, such as floating of Naira. We've seen the challenge that it has in terms of Naira-dollar relationship. You agree with me that because Naira depreciated a lot, it has affected a lot of economic variables. So I think if they think generating revenue could solve problem in government side, they should also look at the citizen side on how purchasing power can be better. But now, because if you look at our per capita income, you see that it's quite low compared to what we are expecting it to be.
Now, when you observe last week, the Naira has come seriously under serious pressure, and it has not been nice to a lot of people, in fact, everyone, because what you normally buy, imported goods, if you are to apply the exchange rate, you see the variation, in which is not making a lot of people not actually smiling. And above that, we've seen situations whereby Nigerians themselves have become what? They have somehow taken advantage of the depreciation of the Naira. Now, to get our conversation right, what do we need to actually, because if you look at it, to actually address the issue of depreciating, how the currency is depreciating. Our currency is our identity, and we should respect it, and we should treat it with respect. So how now? I mean, when you look at with the situation on ground, a lot has been said about the Naira and the dollar, and in fact, we don't produce the dollar. And when you look at our economy, we virtually import most of what we use today. So how do we address this issue?
Right. I'd like to take us through short-term, medium-term, and long-term measure to make sure we really tame this recurring challenge over time. Now, first thing is that government must generate revenue, and generate revenue in dollars. That's the thing. So the effort government has made in terms of generating revenue internally, the effort should also be channeled towards generating revenue in dollars. How do I mean? Most of our sales, perhaps crude oil sales, no company, no international organization should pay us with Naira. Let them be paying us in dollars. That is the short-term thing, because by the time you have more money in dollars, because our challenge is supply side of dollar. So if government can be getting revenue through payment in dollar, it will help us. Then if you also look at the other way around to really stop work on this inflow of dollar, another thing is that most of our activities, I think there should be a law again that we've seen that the president has also said NNPC should pay into CBN through dollar. That would have helped. Also, education, even in Nigeria, some education, some institutes, some institutions still collect money in dollar, right? So they should transact within Nigeria in Naira. Why money coming from outside should come in dollars? Then you also see that's for medium time, but in long time, I think Nigeria need to go back to productivity, because if there is no adequate balance of payment, adequate balance of trade, we cannot be better in terms of Naira. So until we have enough products exporting out of Nigeria, I think that is where we can really say yes. Because if you look at the policy itself, if you ask me, some of those policies are even premature. Because I said it's premature because we've not done what you're supposed to do to engender development, bring investments, encourage foreign direct investment before we float Naira. However, we are in it already, but there is need for us to make sure federal government generates money and build up our foreign reserve, because that's very key. And also the backlog that we're supposed to pay, because we look at this challenge, it's not a present challenge. It has been there maybe like 10 years that we have been trying to pad it, but now it has come on board and we don't have choice. So government also needs to build up the foreign reserve very well, so that by the time we have very strong foreign reserve, at least our dollar could be, our Naira will be we appreciate the more and will be in a balanced way to really tackle this challenge. If not, I don't see this thing coming down so except we do the short-term measure, medium-term measure, perhaps, and end up making sure that productivity is a major objective. Perhaps with Ministry of Mine and Industry, how much is gold bringing in dollar? You know, how much other natural resources bringing in dollars? If we can really work on this, I think we can have a balanced state of the economy.
Okay, well, you talked about education while you were explaining things, and the CBN governor said that about 40 billion naira is spent on education. $40 billion is spent on education and health, and that means we need to do a lot in addressing the issue or issues in our educational and health sector as well. Don't you think so?
Right. I think that education is a very major issue. If you look at the number of Nigerians going abroad for education, they all need to look for dollar before they can move out of Naira. I think that's the major thing. But you wouldn't give that to Naira dollar, because if they are going out, they need to engage, make sure they have international currency. Major thing we should do is that we should make sure that education is sufficient enough. We encourage people to go school within Nigeria, because if there is no decay, people may not have way of going abroad. If at all some people have decided that they need to school abroad, but if we are ranking well and we have good education, why not? Also, we have a lot of private universities now. So I think sometimes, even now, I can tell you that the rich also cry. That's a problem that we are even having now, and it's a balanced thing. Even the rich that is sending children to abroad now, they even find it difficult also to pay abroad. So I think it's quite encouraging that we all Nigerians, because this is our country, all hands must be on deck to make sure that we have a better economy. So how do we have a better economy? Is to make sure that most of our children also school in Nigeria. In terms of health facility, we can also upgrade our health facility and make sure that we do it. And I think our leaders should start from them to make sure that they equip it very well, and we have adequate people to take care of Nigerians who have a challenge. But it's normal thing. If you go abroad too, they also seek help in another place. But how well are we equipped around that? We can also attract people to come. Not only that, if our tourism is working very well, I don't think we will be have challenge with dollars, because or dollar or foreign currency or international currency rather. But by the time you have attractive tourism, people will also come in to do a lot of things. A lot of festivals can also attract a lot of foreign direct investment or foreign currency. So we need to do more to do our homework, because it's quite funny that most time we were looking at outside for solution. Solution is with us. We must make sure that we develop this economy through our education, through our health sector, through our tourism and other engagement that we need to put in place to make sure we have a better economy in Nigeria. Without better economy, I think all Nigerians will know that this is a challenge, because now the dollar crisis or the foreign currency crisis now is affecting both the poor and the rich.
Okay, well, what do you make of the CBN intervention so far? Are we moving at the right direction?
Right. If you look at most of those interventions, honestly, they're in the right direction. But the thing is, we are losing time. That is the thing. So the policy decision and policy implementation gap, it's another issue that we need to ramp up. Because by the time you are taking time to make a policy and you don't look at the immediate implementation of it, it becomes a problem. I'm sure they are going to have MPC meeting. We are looking at how they will also make sure they juggle things to make sure we have better economy. However, we need immediate intervention. In as much as they have, because if you look at all these challenges, the present CBN governor may not have add to the problem. However, the challenge of Naira floating is still there, so they need to do more. And I always talk about e-Naira. Where's our e-Naira? This is another thing we need to look. By the time we embark on that, it could also help us to really reduce those demands, because major issue now is supply of dollar. We have supply side problems. So I think government must also continue to generate revenue in dollars and other currencies so as to boost the Nigeria economy.
Okay, do you see a short time fix?
Right. Most of the measure that day-to-day measure of CBN is short-term, but like I said, implementation is very,
But the
very
CBN
key.
doesn't produce, you know, they don't produce dollars.
Like
or
I
print
said, they
dollars.
don't need to produce dollar, but they need, you know, if you look at the major responsibility of CBN is to make sure they stabilize both prices and also foreign exchange. So if they can put up some policy that will attract payments in dollars, that's why I said the first thing we need to do is to make sure that we generate more revenue in dollars. If we generate more revenue, that would have shortened the challenge of what? Of the supply side. If you can supply enough dollar, I think we don't have issue going forward.
Okay. Thank you very much, Louis Elias. Well, this is it's going to be a continuous conversation.